With a resounding of claps, let us welcome filmmaker Mr. Madhur Bhandarkar and actor Ms. Tamanna Bhatia, Ms. Bharati Pradhan, columnist and best-selling author.
Welcome to another session of FICCI Frames 2022. I have with me two very unique personalities. On my right here is a Mumbaikar, but long before all languages were clubbed under Indian cinema. You know, it's been a fashion in the last 6 months. She has been an Indian actress, trilingual Indian actress, true blue. How do you introduce the gentleman here? Because usually when it's a filmmaker, you just talk about some of his popular work. But how do you introduce a brand? Brand Bhandarkar in person. Madhur, shall we start with you? And let's start with the brand. Usually brands are built, but you just became a brand.
Thank you, FICCI Frame, for inviting me and Tamanna and Bharati ji, veteran journalist and film analyst and a friend. Thank you, Bharati ji. It's always great to interact with you. I think my journey, everybody knows, started from Chandni Bar, and tomorrow it's going to be 21 years of Chandni Bar. So, yeah, absolutely. So I think it's been a great journey, and Chandni Bar to Bubbly Bouncer has been an absolutely great journey. I enjoyed this every moment of my life, my films, best performance of my actresses, actors, and all the technician, producers, and the people who contributed to my movie, the writers. Everybody has contributed to make me the brand Madhur Bhandarkar. And I'm really touched that life has really been a good journey for me, from getting commercial success to critical acclaim to the national award, till the government India bestowed me with Padam Shri. I think it's been a really a great journey. And I hope I keep making this kind of cinema to entertain my people, friends, and the larger people in my audience. Because of them, I'm here.
Now that you mentioned the national award, this is a question for both of you. I believe you're off to collect yet another national award.
Yeah.
Have you lost count?
No. I think it's the fifth one.
Okay.
And
only fifth.
Yeah. So that is for my movie Avijatrik. And on 30th of September, I'll be getting this award. As a producer, I produced the film, Bengali film, which I'm very proud of. It was the concluding part of Satyajit Ray's last chapter. And brilliantly, it was shot. I believed in the script. When I have the director who directed, I had not seen any of his work. But he came to me in a hotel, in the lobby we met, and my producer got me, a friend of mine. He just narrated the idea to me. I loved it so much. I said, I'll back this film. And really that film got a lot of critical acclaim, not only in India and internationally, and the national award also. So I'm very happy, proud of Avijatrik, and thank you so much for everybody who has contributed to that film.
Tamanna, have you seen Mr. Bhandarkar's work before? I mean, did you see his films before he came to you? Or is that a question I shouldn't be asking?
भारती मैम, थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग अस हियर. ये सवाल तो बहुत ही मतलब कैसे पूछ लिया आपने. मैं कहाँ छुपाऊँ अपना मुंह. इनकी फिल्म में कोई कैसे नहीं देख सकता. All his films actually, I think almost all his films I've always watched and always been a big fan. I've bumped into him many times when I was working in Hyderabad, and yeah, I think he started, if I'm not wrong, also his career in Hyderabad.
Yeah,
with Ramu sir. Yeah. And I, of course, वो मेरी कर्म भूमि है, तो that route always will be there. But yeah, the day I got called for Bubbly Bouncer, I knew that my life's going to change. I'm just happy that अब तक मैंने मुंबई से हूँ, पर मैंने साउथ में जाके तमिल तेलुगु बात करना सीखा. इस फिल्म में एक्ट करने के बाद हरियाणवी डायलेक्ट को अटेम्प्ट करने का मौका मिला, जो मेरे लिए बहुत ही नया था. और एक एक्टर का क्वेस्ट यही रहता है कि वो हर टाइम कुछ नया करे, लोगों को लगता है कि सिर्फ उनके एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए होता है, पर एक्चुअली एक एक्टर, एटलीस्ट जिस किस्म की एक्टर मैं हूँ, मैं बहुत आसानी से बोर हो जाती हूँ. तो मुझे अपने आप को एंटरटेन करने के लिए कुछ अतरंगी सा, कुछ नया सा करना पड़ता है. बट एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत दौर है मेरे करियर में. An actor always needs good filmmakers to tap the best out of them, and definitely lucked out with Bubbly Bouncer, and hoping कि ये मैं दौर जितना हो सके continue कर सकूँ.
Tamanna, you've had a very interesting trajectory. You are born in Mumbai, you did a film in Hindi, and then you got your career in Telugu and Tamil cinema. After which you again came to Bombay and did a couple of Hindi films, which unfortunately didn't do too well. Hum Shakals and Himmatwala, which didn't do well. You again did films in the south, and now Bubbly Bounce. So with this, you bounced back.
Actually, for me, it was interesting because after the 2-3 films that I did in Hindi, which did not do well, I had a film called Bahubali, which kind of changed, my trajectory completely. And I also realized my true potential through the part that I played in Bahubali, which was the part of Avantika. Also, women were really not presented in a physically strong, way before that. And this was primarily an action film, a war film to be precise. And in that, doing action actually gave me the insight that there's so much more to me that I haven't even tapped. And then I kept working, and now I've finally landed up with this amazing part, which is...
Finally, Tamanna has arrived. Absolutely.
I
Mane,
have come to
absolutely.
FICCI frames, so
Yeah,
I think that's a good sign.
Madhur, you know your cinema is always associated with going very deep into a subject, sometimes in a dark way.
Yeah.
And Bubbly was a very different kind of film, because even though it's a female-oriented film, which you're famous for, you still took a very light-hearted, you just kept the tone.
Yeah.
So what decides the tone of a film? I mean, is it the subject? Is it your mood? How do you decide the tone of a film?
Any subject. I think I'll just recap it. In 2018, 2019, I had 3 subjects with me. One was an action film which I wanted to make a larger than life action film, still there with me. There was one hard-hitting women-centric cinema, again it was there. So the third script came to me. 2018 and 2019 it took me to write scripts. All these years they said, Madhur, tum kahan ho? So it takes time to write script, because I make film with a lot of research, meet people, interact, read a lot. And Bubbly Bouncer was the third film. So deliberately it was that I wanted to make a film very light-hearted, funny, humorous, because I wanted to have another film which is like Bubbly Bouncer with like a Rishikesh Mukherjee kind of a touch, which is very real in the world. And the world of Bouncer was very fascinating. Nobody has shown the world, the Bouncer. But it was definitely, like a lot of people I told, the Bubbly Bouncer could have been a very serious movie also, hard-hitting, like my Bhandarkar stamp. But I wanted to make it a very light film. I was quite successful making Dil To Bachcha Hai Ji. We did very well for me at the box office also. The songs were ahead. But here I deliberately kept, because there were 3 films in my kitty. So I wanted one film which had humor and a fun film. That's how Bubbly Bouncer was written also. And then suddenly pandemic happened. 2019 ke khatam hote hote the pandemic came, to everywhere globally we were in a pause mode. We didn't know what to do, where to go. People are telling us industry is getting shut, theaters are getting shut, pata nahi kya hoga. OTT was big boon that time. Everybody is watching that. And then again, in that interim period, after the first lockdown, I made this movie India Lockdown, which is going to come in December release. So I made that movie also on the pandemic, the first pandemic, what would happen. And before I could go with my edit over there, the second pandemic came. And that was more volatile. And it really took a lot of toll of people we know, relatives, friends, so many people we lost in that whole turmoil. Then suddenly again things started moving, the vaccine came. That time Disney Hotstar and Jungly Picture, they approached me, you have the subject Bubbly Bouncer, you want to make a film which is very family, which can be seen by every family member. So I said, definitely I have. And they told me, you shoot like a film, but we will make it to OTT. And I said, why not? It would be nice. And that's how we revisited it. And that what in this year, February we started. We met, me and Tamanna met in October last. And then we had talks and we have to go what, her assignments were there which she has to complete. I had to complete India lockdown's post-production work. So we were both busy in our own space. And then in this January we started, the costume, the whole thing, the prep and all. And February we started 14th and 23rd September we released the film. I think absolutely a great journey.
And what speed?
Yeah, because I make film in a very budget. One thing, my USP is there. Like a lot of directors said, Madhur, तेरी USP है तू यार budget में film बनाता हमसे तो होता नहीं है. So I make the film in a budget. Some pictures may have not worked for me, but it is a break-even film.
Right.
So my budget are always controlled. I never overburden with my budget to my producers. So that's why I play very safe. And that's the reason I want to make film which I believe in it. I want to push the envelope and I want to show the reality, what happened to the society. But obviously this time I took a humorous way to show the society and a story of bubbly. And Tamanna Bhatia absolutely fits the bill. And I'm happy today that she is winning hearts globally everywhere.
So what drew you to Tamanna?
I think when I met her, I interacted with her. Like I said, occasionally we used to interact.
I was funny. I was very,
Funny,
very funny.
she was very funny.
I'm sure.
No, I think she
And bubbly.
Bubbly, absolutely. I see today when I look in retrospect, I can't imagine only Tamanna for this role. I'm telling you that. And a lot of people have told me this after watching also. She really nailed it so well. From her body language, from the weight training she has to put on over there, and the language, the lehza which we call, so bang on accurate, not caricatures, no over the top. It had to be subdued, controlled. Everybody in the film, and she really, really worked very hard. And I told her I'm going to treat you like a newcomer, and it's a relaunch for her. And today when I look back, definitely the love affection for Bubbly is huge.
Was there any pressure on you that this is the national award-winning director and you have to deliver a national award-winning performance?
I wasn't so worried about the award, but I was just thinking अगर ये वाली फिल्म में नहीं किया तो कब करूँगी? Also मेरी भाभी हरियाणवी है, तो I was like अगर if I get the accent wrong, घर से चप्पल पड़ेंगे. So घर पे तो नहीं पड़ना चाहिए चप्पल, बाहर से पड़े तो फिर भी समझ में आता है. तो डर के मारे मैंने पूरी कोशिश की कि अच्छा कर सकूं. पर सच बात ये है कि मैं स्कूल में एक टॉम बॉय थी और मुझे वो कभी फिल्मों में चैनल करने का मौका नहीं मिला. और जब when I heard the story, I was like, I finally have the chance to be who I am really. And 12 रोटियां तो नहीं खा सकती थी, बट स्कूल में 6 समोसे खाया करती थी. तो और वो एपेटाइट अभी भी बरकरार है. सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू.
It doesn't show.
बहुत टाइम जिम में और काफ़ी, I mean, honestly, as actors, we are on a diet since we start working. So for me, it's been 17 years of being on such like a reasonable amount of diet. But yeah, but on good days, 6 samosas is how it goes.
Okay, it still goes. Okay. OTT, you mentioned the word safe. Is OTT a safe place to have a film today?
See, one thing is there, Bharati ji, you cannot stop technology. Whatever technology comes, we have to accept it, okay? There was a time when we had video cassettes, then suddenly CDs came, then DVDs came, then the disc also went, MP3 came. So technology cannot be stopped. And similarly, OTT platform is here to stay. And before 2019, or before pandemic, I would say, OTT and film industry, the theatre, were coexisting together very well. So OTT definitely, the pandemic happened, then OTT becomes a big thing for the people sitting at home. And people have binge watched films, web series, everything we watch. We watch all kind of cinema in that 2 years. It was a learning experience for everybody at home. So the expectation of the audience watching on OTT really changed. The expectation grew. They thought, what is a good writing in web series? And that's also in India and internationally. So they watch South cinema also, they watch Spanish cinema also, Italian cinema also. That's huge. And today OTT definitely is a platform which will grow only. It won't go backward. It will grow only in coming years also. There will be more OTT platform coming, more streaming line will be coming. And I think for today's generation, today's upcoming filmmaker, OTT definitely is a absolutely great platform, because in our time it was not there. Okay, if your film doesn't do well or something, then again you have to go struggle. But today I know a lot of filmmakers who want to make movies. They can push the envelope. They feel this is a movie can be for OTT. I'm the hard hitting subject or real. So that's a great platform for filmmakers who are doing very well at the OTT platform. Series, they're OTT stars, OTT actresses, which have got huge platform and people are welcoming them. So I think OTT is here to stay. You cannot say that OTT is not there. They will be there. People will watch movies on OTT also. But the theater magic will never diminish. That will be also there. The magic of cinema, watching movie in the theater with your friends, colleague, family, that will be always be there. Because we coexist together. Always. And it will be there. OTT will be there, film industry will be also.
There are certain filmmakers and certain actors also who don't want to be identified with OTT. They say, no, we are big screen people. For instance, John Abraham has told me that. He said, I will not reduce myself to the small screen.
I think it's an individual decision. Like this happened to me pre-pandemic actually. I felt like, for me, I'm an actor, and for me, it's my point of being around is to constantly tell new stories, be a part of movies where I play completely a brand new person every time. So for me, I feel like that's my strength also. What today it's my skill, that is my strength, and that whichever format gives me, the right kind of access to people is the format for me. And I think I, as an actor, have always been very open-minded. Like I remember when I started working down south, of course, in Hindi films, mainstream actors would do songs in mainstream female leads used to do songs in other people's movies, as a special song. But in the south, it was considered something that people did once their career was getting over. But I love to dance, and I thought that that's my skill, and I would want to showcase that because that's what I'm good at. So I feel like as an actor, whatever you think is your skill, if you're getting the right platform for it, I don't think anything is big or small today. Good content, like for example, I never thought I'll be watching Korean cinema, but today I have also become a consumer, and I'm not the usual consumer. So I feel like, matlab, if the story is based on human emotions, like for example, Squid Game was something that I watched, I binge watched, and I realized that something which is, like a survival drama, I didn't know that kind of a genre existed till I saw Squid Game, and when I saw, and I happened to recently meet one of the actor who plays the Pakistani gentleman in the film, and I asked him, I said, how did you reach there? He's like, no, I went to Korea, I learned their language, I lived there. And it's an interesting journey. मतलब हिंदुस्तानी एक्टर जाके कोरिया में कोरियन सीख के कोरियन बात कर रहा है, और he's a part of a film that is now watched all around the world.
It's cult. Yeah.
It's cult, yeah. So I feel like एक एक्टर के हाथ में वो कहाँ जाना चाहता है. अगर हम चांद पे भी जाना चाहते हैं तो कोई रोक नहीं सकता.
So you're fine with any platform as long as you
Instagram
get to do
भी
what you
platform
want.
हो गया है मैम. सच्ची बताऊँ तो Instagram भी platform हो गया. At the end, today so many of us are, most of us are on our phones. Like today when we're uploading a reel also, we are judging ourselves कि यार अच्छे दिख रहे हैं, अच्छा कर रहे हैं कि नहीं, अच्छे से बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं.
True.
So today every piece of content is a reflection of who you are. So I don't think as an actor you can leave any opportunity unturned.
Okay, so you had no hesitation film for OTT because
Not at
Bubbly
all.
was right away for an
The
OTT.
same thing actually.
You were all right.
It's the same thing.
And Madhur, did you have even little bit of a hesitation about Bubbly, that why मुझे theater ही चाहिए?
नहीं, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं था. देखिए, या डेफिनेटली जब इंसेप्शन हुआ पिक्चर का, तो जब भी पेंडेमिक किया तो पी नहीं पता था किसको. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 2018-19 में. तो हम लोग उसको पता नहीं था ऐसा कुछ डिजीज आएगा, पूरे वर्ल्ड को झंझोड़ देगा. वी नेवर थॉट अबाउट इट. तो दैट टाइम ऑब्वियसली इट वाज फॉर फिल्म ओनली. कि मैं बोलूँगा नहीं ओटीटी के लिए गलत होगा. इट वाज फॉर फिल्म ओनली. But then 2 years passed, everything went in pause mode. We were all devastated. The things were happening throughout the world. And when things became normal, we started picking up the threads. उस टाइम पे अगर OTT मुझे बोल रहा है कि we'll give you a good budget, but we want to make this movie specially is a family entertainer. And today, when we look back, so definitely I feel I'm very happy. Validation हुआ है कि people are watching the film, family together, they are watching the film Bubbly Bouncer at their home. हर कोई पिक्चर बैठ के देख रहा है. तो मैंने कभी नहीं देखा कि OTT है या ये है. Good content everywhere people watch. And today the line is getting blurred very fast. So people will watch the film. ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं था. Yeah, today I know a lot of people are telling why Bubbly Bouncer is such a good content didn't come in the theater. But that situation 8-9 months was different completely. We didn't know where it was going. People are thinking single plexes are getting closed, theaters are getting closed, nobody's coming to the theater. See, all this calamity has took place. And not only here, globally, it was hit economic big time. And globally, people are not going to the theater. It's just from last 6 months, we are seeing people have started again, that confidence has come. People have taken double vaccine, booster shot, everything, and things are getting normal. People are taking revenge travel, going abroad, everywhere. So I think it's great. And I'm very happy. Ultimately, the reach of your content reaches to the right person, right people. That is very essential for us today.
Tamanna, the last time we really heard about you was when you did this huge big screen Bahubali. I mean, everybody remembers you in Bahubali. And then next thing we know is that you're doing a Madhur Bhandarkar film. So how different have the two experiences been? This large extravaganza and you have a bunch
From Bahubali to Bubbly Bouncer.
Exactly, from B to B.
So I've been working in the Indian film industry for the past 17 years. I started working when I was 14, and I started with films, with cinema, with what we know as the big screen experience. I think every movie shaped me in a certain way, but I think what I learned the most is to kind of unlearn. So even after I went through a process like Bahubali, which was an extravaganza visually and even as a story, every time I took up a new project, I had to unlearn everything I did before. And that's the only way I approach my work today, because if I have to get into, you know, working with someone, after working with someone like Rajamouli sir, who works in a certain way, and then working with Madhur sir, to be able to fit into their worlds, I need to deconstruct mine. Having said that, these 17 years have given me so much experience, because I worked with all kinds of directors, with people who spoke different languages, whose methods were very, very varied and different. But I think the biggest thing I learned being on a film set is, the one thing that's used the most on a film set is common sense. And I feel like every film is essentially made by that, and that's why there's no education for it. I'm not educated, I'm not a trained actor or a performer. Nobody can teach you this. It's something that you learn on the go, and you learn every day. I'm still learning. I know the next film I will shoot, I will be learning something new. And I'm actually looking forward to that. That I think an actor is a forever student, because every time you enter a new world, it's about learning something and unlearning something. So yeah, they can be two very varied experiences, but that's the point of it.
Can you tell me one point of difference between Rajamouli's way of working and Madhur's way of working?
There, of course, the film was very visual effects driven. So we would only can about 3 shots a day. We could only do that much because every shot required that kind of prep and that kind of, you know, work. Because also we didn't have any precedent to a film like Bahubali. So we didn't have any reference point. It was literally just, you know, only Rajamouli sir's imagination, and then we had storyboards which we were executing. So the pace was slow, but we were also involved because we just didn't know what we were doing, you know, so we were all very, very engrossed. Madhur sir's film is a lot about kind of finding yourself while performing the character. There it was more technical because it's so visual effects driven. Here it's more about kind of letting those parts of yourself go which you haven't been able to. So for me, this as a process, and that has been that.
I think FICCI is very important, vital platform for everybody. And I think so today me and Tamanna over here, wanted to speak about cinema and about the success of Bubbly Bouncer. The way people have from last 3-4 days are watching the film and the kind of response we got on the social media and people in large, I think is very commendable. And her performance has been appreciated throughout, completely everywhere, globally. Wherever people are watching the film on the Hotstar streaming, people have loved her performance and the film. And it's a complete family entertainment.
I think for me, definitely this film is it's a game changer because I think अब तक मैंने जितना प्यार और support South Indian film audience से receive किया है, I'm seeing that happen here right now because a lot of Hindi speaking audiences, loved the movie. And most importantly, even a lot of Haryanvi people have responded and said that they feel like the accent is organic and authentic. For me, that's a very big, it's a big validation. And genuinely, I think Bubbly's kind of reached out to the hearts of so many people, and that's just because of Madhur sir kind of doing his magic again, because he's always given all his female actors like their best part in their career. So I guess it was my turn.